I still remember the flavor that used to come out of my grandfather's oil mill. So back then there was no brands. People used to trust humans. They used to come with their produce, their seeds, and take back a bottle of purity. In the late 90s, early 2000s, the modern refineries came into India, and refined oils came into the market at a much lower price point. So all these small oil milling communities, they were not viable, and they had to eventually shut shop. So at that moment, the only thought that I had was, I had to replicate my grandfather's business, but I had to adapt to the modern technology, the modern rules and regulations, the FSI regulations, and that was the only thing that was going on in my mind. So after my grandfather's business, my father ventured into different fields of business. In 2015, the first spark for Gramiyaa came in, where me and my father went to a refinery in Chennai to purchase oil in bulk for a restaurant business. So there we were able to see the processes that were involved in refined oils, the hygiene, and the adulteration, and it literally shook us. So that is when while coming back, we were thinking that maybe we need to bring back what my grandfather was doing. And my father, started with a very small unit in Trichy without a brand. So I was studying my MBA at SP Jain, and when I came back, I was convinced that we need to give it a brand, to give it a soul, and then that will scale up, globally. So that is how Gramiyaa was born. As a founder, I think my superpower is self-belief, because I believed in myself for the last 9 years. I had the conviction on the business model, and I was able to convince two more guys. For the first 2 years, I was doing this Gramiyaa all alone, and then Yasin and Naveen, my friends from undergrad college, they joined me. So we used to be part of a motorsports team in our college, where I used to be the driver, and Yasin and Naveen used to build the car. So trusting them back then, I used to drive a car which these guys built. Yasin was doing his masters in design. He was trying to create a consumer brand. Naveen was a full stack programmer. He was bringing in OPEX experience. So I used to take care of manufacturing, Naveen into operations, and Yasin into branding and marketing. So we gelled along well, and we had taken a respective portfolios, and we formed a great team.
In the office, what I'm really good at is talking to 3 or 4 teams at once and making sure I'm like always live and always present, actively communicating to all teams during the time of the day. What I am very bad at is keeping track of numbers, right? So I have no control over how the cash flow is or losses is. That is where Naveen and Sibi come in.
At Gramiyaa, everybody calls me Mr. Solution because wherever there is a problem, I'm there to fix it, irrespective of what domain it is. When COVID hit, we were doing about 9 retail stores in and around Trichy and Chennai. But then we had to take a bold decision because your stores are no longer open. And we had to go completely into a website which is gramiyaa.com. So grocery cannot be a planned purchase. So we didn't go through the usual 3PL route where you are getting delivered from a faceless, nameless person, which we completely control end to end. That made all the difference for our first initial few customers, and they loved it. And that is why they kept coming back and buying from us. Once we were confident of what the customer actually wanted by selling through our website for the first couple of years, then we decided to go all in on all the online platforms. It started with Amazon, DMart, and all the quick commerce apps as well. So that gave us the much needed growth beyond the metro cities where we were already present in.
We were trying to sell through our factory outlet initially in Trichy. It gave a tremendous feedback. The major breakthrough was, we were trying to sell it in Trichy, Chennai. I get a constant call from US asking for oil. So my initial consignment was, a small 2000 liters. I still remember those nights where I was scared of the packaging. I was scared of the oil quality, shelf life, the FDA clearance, the FSI clearance, customs. Somehow the first consignment reached there and it got sold within a week. That was a major breakthrough. And subsequently, the next order was for 10,000 liters, 5 times increase. So that is when I realized this is a global product. and the market is available globally.
And at this point, US, we are probably occupying enough shelf space in multiple places where it has become a household name of sorts.
So typically the cooking oils that you find on your supermarket shelves, right? They have a lot of preservatives and they also go through a lot of chemical refining before it comes to you. So what truly separates Gramiyaa from the other brands that you see in the market on all your e-commerce apps and everything, right? Even today, we make everything in-house. We buy everything directly ourselves and also have a elaborate traceability and test report publication that happens to go to the customer, which reaffirms the authenticity of the product itself.
We wanted to control the entire end-to-end setup, which means that it all had to happen in a single factory.
What we do here is a two-step process. They're both physical process that have zero chemicals in it. The first one is a sedimentation tank process in which the oils are left for 3 days. All of the moisture, seed sediments that make the oil go rancid, they're first separated. And then it goes through a set of cotton filters. What these cotton filters do is the minute particles that stay in the oil, they get removed. So this also improves the smoke point of the oil, making it very usable for frying while also keeping the product very fresh for longer. So after this goes to our packaging unit where they get packed in opaque oxygen-free atmospheres. So all of this makes the product very stable, very fresh while having zero trans fats, zero chemical preservatives or zero refining need in the product. Farming is an entirely different business, right? So we buy from farmers and we start doing the manufacturing. We are manufacturers. A company who's truly authentic will actually show what is being made and they will not drive on the sentiments of farmers of the country. So this focus on the 4 products that we have actually communicates in itself the brand's values and ethics when it comes to product quality and consistency, and that automatically builds trust.
One feedback that I can never forget is, I got a call around 12:31 in the night, which is daytime in the morning. I got a call from a customer who's a lady. She called me and said, I got my grandmom's taste. I got rumor of my grandmom, and it is truly, traditional, and she could, taste the real grounded there, and that customer has been with us for the last 9 years. We realized Gramiyaa was not just, giving good oils, but also bringing in the childhood memories, grandmother's recipe taste. So that is when we realized that we can sell Gramiyaa worldwide, and sticking to your roots.
Families who live in metros far away from their hometowns, or families who live outside the country for that matter, like in the US and UAE, really appreciate the product and the kind of nostalgia and memory that brings along with it, right? The health part is absolutely necessary, but what on top of that is the flavor and the aroma that the product gives to the food they make in the house daily really makes them connect back to how they used to have food when they were kids.
What we tried to achieve was old school service, but with modern logistics. 2 years back, we were roughly doing about 25,000 liters a month in our factory. Right now, we've hit 90,000 liters in a month. So that is roughly a 4-fold increase in growth, which came from us in expanding our distribution. So we were only selling on our website. Now we are present in almost all the online e-commerce channels, which gave us a big jump in revenue. And at the same time, we also started doing retail again. So we launched in one of the largest national chains, and we are already the top seller there. We are perfecting modern retail in Bangalore, and we want to copy paste this model for all the other major metros as well. So that is what we are working on right now. We have about 200 stores in Bangalore right now live, and we are expanding to Hyderabad pretty soon.
We had only 5 guys working in the factory, and the office was my living room. So we used to struggle for keeping stocks, maintaining the operations. And in 23, after my friends joined and we scaled it up, we opened our first office in Bangalore. Now today we are a team of over 80 plus, and from a small tier 2 town, a small industry, a small factory with 5 people, today 80, and we are scaling globally. A lot of things have changed over the years, but our values haven't. We stay true to what we want to do. One factory, no compromise on quality, and we scale globally. So I know Gramiyaa has truly made it when every household from Trichy to Texas tastes our tradition.